Hello, everyone. This is Dance Without Music, Expert 3A. Um, I'm going to get right into it, and this is mainly for those who understand exactly what's going on and those who have made it to this far and can feel everything. I'm not going to say feel, because you feel, but I'm going to say and understand and see the how weight, balance, energy, and the control works. One thing I can say as far uh, as the definition for the workings of all of those things together, the weight, you need weight to balance, okay? And the other one, you need energy to move. And for direction, you need the control. So weight to balance, the control, energy for movement, but in order to have direction, you need the control. So this lesson is going to be, I said that it was Dance Without Music Expert 3A. And then I'm going to say the vertex, control and the vertex, or control in the vertex. Okay? So it's really, 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 I can say sharp. It's really specific. I say that too much. But it's a very sharp understanding of what's going on. Now I'm going to get right into it. I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be that long because it deals with, but like I said, length and understanding is, I can make something very long, but if you're there and you already understand, you'll see that the the deepness of it will make it a little bit, will make it a little bit more. So whereas you can do something that's very long because you have so many descriptions, you have so many definitions, but now at this point you should know the definitions, and I'm showing you things that you maybe have not realized that you can do at this point. So it's deeper and it's more concentrate. So it may not be as long. What I'm going to do is show you how the control basically works in a vertex, which is very important. In order to have movement, we need the control to work in the vortex. So let me see how we're going to do this. Okay, and like I said, a good example of the vortex controlling the movement, which is direction, and we all need direction. These are all things that we do all the time, but we're going to manage them. So what we're doing now at this level, and it's Expert 3A, it is we are beginning to manage our, I can say, not so, our tools that we have. Manage our weight, like I said, the weight and balance. We balance the weight. We're going to start managing that. And then the energy is the energy and movement. We need energy in order to make a movement. So managing that. And then as far as direction, we're not just directing things, but we're at this level, you should understand what I am trying to explain. It's not so much that I can take this this glass of orange juice and just say, okay, walk with it and move with it. But now you have to you know the control that everybody uses, but they're not realizing it. And I told you it takes a long time to 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 indicate or know where the control is or use it to your ability. So now I'm not going to say feel, you know the control. You're beginning to know the control. And now I have it in this class. I know you've seen waiters do it all the time, or when you have a tray or something, and you balance in that tray. That means you got the control in there, okay? And a lot of things are done subconsciously, but these things are not done subconsciously when you're at this level. And I have this, and you can see I'm moving it with a vortex, okay? I can put the vortex here and move it, okay? Or else I can put the vortex here, and move it, okay? These are all things that we do subconsciously, but now we're not in subconscious mind at this level. That's expert 3A. So now we're starting to manage. I settled this. Now I have the control. It's like dormant, really. I'm just thinking about the weight. So it's not really anywhere. I mean, it's somewhere, but we're not there yet, okay? So we have that example. And like I said, I can put the control in my here. Remember, we're not going to say any parts or anything like that, because control goes everywhere. If you try and say, okay, my control is here or my control is there, it moves so fast you won't even be able to say it, you won't even be able to think it. You have to have your mind hooked to the control, and you have to command the control. Now we do everything before we did everything subconsciously, but now we're going into position to where we are not doing it subconsciously. At this level, you're not doing it subconsciously. We're getting to manage it. We still do things subconsciously, but we are able to manage our control. So now let me give you the quick things that I came up with. And we're going to, like I said, this is formatted in the Michael Jackson. We're going to do some things there as far as we're going to improve the kick. And I'm going to use that also. I did in one of the other videos, I said about balancing on this leg, okay? Which I found out the balance on this one and this one is entirely different. It has nothing to do with if you're left-handed or right-handed. It's a totally different balance. We're going to balance mostly on here anyway, because it will show you how the balance works on one side, and then when we get to the other side, I don't know when, we'll show you and I'll tell you the difference between the balance on this one and this one. Not just that, but when we do another thing too, when you balance and you use this leg, you're also, by doing it on one side, we're getting familiar that whatever this side does, this side is doing something also. So everything is not symmetrical, okay? Definitely not symmetrical. And the first thing that we're going to get into is, I remember on one of the last YouTubes I had, we went like this and we turned, okay? Now I'm going to show you how putting the control in different places when you dance, because this is dance without music, with the benefits, how you can be more precise to where everybody's doing the same thing, okay? I'm going to put the control in my foot. I don't know, like I said, you would have to feel it, but if you have a real sharp eye, you can see the difference for those who understand but are not at the level. The ones at this level just have to follow the directions, and they will know what I'm talking about. I'm going to turn and put the control in different places. I'm going to turn and put the control all the way here, okay? And then I'm going to turn and put the control here at the vortex. There's a vortex. That's what we're working. I'm showing you how the different how the control handles vortex. And like I said, it's a vortex like in mathematics. Um, if the vortex is here, which I'm going to get into, so I'm saying that there's a vortex here that the control is in. So I'm going to put the control and see if you can tell the difference. At first because the vortex can go here and it also can go into a vortex. Okay? So hopefully you understand now and you'll get a clearer point of the vortex. And there's another point that I have to make, but I don't think I guess I should do it now before I get into this. What I wanted to state was that the control gets into a vortex so that I can move, okay? Another thing is, in order to move, you need space all around. Space is everywhere around us. But we need space to move, okay? So, in order to make the space ours, we need a quadrant, okay? I call it quadrant because it's the closest thing that I know. When I understand something, I have to go into my meaning. Everybody has meaning. And think of the closest thing that everybody can relate to, or most people can relate to. And the closest thing I can say is quadrant, okay? Not, I don't want to say that it has X and Y quadrants. We're not getting into that yet. Maybe it will be, but at one point in time, that's really being sharp. But I'm saying the point, let's say XY axis would be that little point. Not just that, so I want you to not put it down to the coordinates in the things that we work in mathematics, because this is a different kind of coordinate. In a triangle, you have a vertex. It's very close to that. As you can see, these are just triangles, okay? So it's like that vortex. You can think of the vortex in the triangle, and you can think of the XY axis in the quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can think of that point as a vortex, but that's just to help you to understand what I'm stating is a quadrant, okay, in order for you to move. In order to move, we need space. So the space that we have, like the space that I'm moving my hand in, also belongs to me. So I'm saying if I can't move, then it doesn't belong to me. So I made it so that when I'm moving, I can own the quadrant. So all the movements that we make, and we make the space that we use, I call that the quadrant. Okay? So we have the vortex, and then we have the quadrant. It moves in the quadrant. This is here. My movement is here, but I need space. And the space that I use, I'll call it my quadrant. Okay, so you can call it your quadrant. So now let me get back to that. All of the terms I use are as close as I can come to with all the terms that we use as human beings, or those who have taken, courses and understand as far as what our knowledge is as human beings. So now we got the quadrant. In the quadrant, even though I'm moving my head, I need space. The space that I'm using to move is my quadrant. Now we're going back to the vortex. Okay. Okay. I made this one as far as not just the quadrant, but also going back to where we had the control in every part. I'm going to try it with just the quadrant and see, because that's what I did. I'm going to make that turn that I did in one of the other ones. I wasn't clear about it before because there was more coming, okay? Sometimes I have to act as if this is the only level that we have and we're not going further sometimes, so that you won't get confused, okay? So now, remember when I did this and then went like this? We're going to put it in different we're going to put it in different, our movements in different vortexes, in different vertices, that's what they call it as far as, but I want to just use the singular. So I'm going to say in a different vortex each time. So we have this vortex, okay? I'm going to put it in there, okay? And then I'm going to put it in here. And then I'm going to put it up here, the vortex up here. Okay? If you notice, each time it was totally different. In the past, when we didn't know about the vortex, we didn't know about the control, we didn't know about the weight, we didn't know about the balance, we didn't know about the energy. And then I used to say, go like this, and you do this, okay? But now we're being more specific. I'm saying vertex there, the bottom, okay? Then I'm saying vertex here. And then I'm saying vertex here. Okay? Now you should notice that they're different, okay? But now you can see that when we make movements in this dance without music, it's not there all the way yet. But if we have 3 people and we say, use the vortex here, okay? Maybe we'll name it now, but not going to do it now. And everyone uses the vortex here, then they will be more precise. But we have more to do yet. But like I'm saying, we're here at this lesson. We're not going to think about above yet. If I say put the vortex here, okay? And now, if I say put the vortex here to everybody, okay? So you can see each one is different. But we're going to stay here, and that's going to be it for now as far as that. Like I said, we're going to stay with this balance on this side, because I find that this balance, there is a different things we have to do to balance this side and balance this side, okay? Very much different. It's not symmetrical. It looks symmetrical, but as far as internally, there's totally different things that's happening. Not just that, but whenever you do something on this side, you're going to see how it affects this side. So it's not symmetrical, okay? So now, the next thing we're going to get into, remember the kick that we had. But before the kick, which is part of the dance, I want you to get used to, I want you to see the different things in the vortex. We're going to see how the vortex works, okay? How the control works in the vortex. I remember when I was not trying to explain this, it was a little bit more abstract, because I was saying everything that goes forward, and then we were making movements forward. But now we're at a point, a more precise point, because we can make more precise movements, because now we're going to have the control in a vortex. And with the vortex, a lot of people don't realize the vortex moves. The control inside the vortex moves the object, or moves. Just say moves, because I don't want to go out into another realm. So now we got this. We're going to put the vortex here. And we're not using any bones, we're not using any kind of anatomy, because we're in a level, when you're in a level of weight, balance, energy, and movement, in the control is um, in that um, in that layer. That's all you see. It's just like if I listen to, a good example is if I listen to music and I'm just into the music. If I'm a musician, I can go anywhere in the music. I can go to beats, I can go to rhythms, I can go to pitches, okay? When I'm seeing light, as far as art is concerned, okay, I can see colors, um, uh, I can see movements like, slashes, I can see curves, I can see circles. Well, now you're in a realm just like those realms. Even if you're in a language, you can hear the sounds, you can hear the syllables, you can hear the consonants. So now we're in a realm of, of weight, balance, energy, movement, in the control. Control makes the movements. So it'll get cleared as you go. So now the control is here. This is the vortex. And if anybody in mathematics or took any kind of mathematics can see that this is really an angle. If so anyway, we're not going to get into. I'm not going to get into persuading you that this is a vortex and this is an angle. Okay, but I want to get you into that our movement is in our quadrant. Everything around us, every movement that we make is in our quadrant. In order to make a movement, you have to have a quadrant. You have to own the space. Okay? It's If I make this movement, I only made it because I know I have it. So it's my quadrant. So I use that word because it's something that's the closest thing that I know everyone can understand or get to use. And now we're going to make this quadrant to understand so that we can make our movements better, okay? And when you have other people, you want them to do the same thing. If they understand the quadrant and you understand the quadrant, as far as the measurements as far as is unique to each person. My leg from here to here is different from everybody else's. So that's another thing. In our quadrant, we have our own measurements. No numbers. It's just what you see and what you feel. And that's another thing that we're going to get into. So now, going back to here, my my control is in this right here, okay? And you can see that it's in the vortex and it's making the move, okay? So I can say numbering without numbers. I can say here, 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 and down, okay? So that inside, I use a quadrant. We're not going to say quadrant too much because you can understand, and we'll get into that later on. But now we're just worried about the vortex and how it works in one, how the control works in that vortex. So it does that. Now another thing it does is it can change directions. Okay? And notice how it moves the body. It moves everything because it's the primary. We'll call that's another thing that I figured would be best, is to call the one that we're working on, the one that you can see, the one that you're operating with, is the primary vortex. Vortex. I'm almost sure it's vertex. And I say something so many times, it gets kind of jumbled, but you know what I'm talking. Vertex. I'm almost sure that's what it is because I did look it up. Okay, so we have, okay, it kind of changed, but here it goes now here, okay, and then it's there. It's moving the vortex this way, okay. Okay, now that's one vortex, and then like, okay, and then it'll go over here. So that means it can stay here and move there, okay? It can go up, and the control is moving in a vortex, okay? If I go up here, then the vortex can move there, okay? Now, if I put the vortex here, I'm going to move this up, and then I can move the vortex up here. Okay, I can move that. Now I can move this vortex. I can do that. Now I can move this vortex. And so also this. Now I'm going to put the vortex here. Okay. I can move that. Now when I move this, I'm bringing the vortex up, and then I'm moving this. Okay, then I'm bringing this up, and then I'm moving that vortex. Okay. Then I was thinking, I want to show you to complete the vortex, okay? Remember, this is Expert 3A, okay? So this is letting you know, because you already have the ability of this Expert 3. So that means that I'm telling you something that you haven't realized, okay? And believe me, to realize something that you already have is a big deal, okay? Because you can go one way all the time, and then somebody can say, hey, did you know that you can go through that door and get to there faster? That's what I'm doing. So that's another different way of education, I guess you can say. So we have that vortex. So we have that. There's another one too that goes down here. If you put the vortex here, I'm not going to say vertices. I'm almost sure it's a plural, but I just want to keep vortex. Okay, I want to keep just singular going up. And even though it's down here, remember that's the primary, and watch what the other everything else does, which you're going to see later on, okay? Okay? Okay, so we got that down pat. Now I think I want to, before I get into, there's one thing, I want to finish a little part of the Michael Jackson kick, because we're going to work on that, and we're going to see a little bit, not about energy yet, but we're going to see how the vortex makes, remember, it makes a, the vortex, the control in the vortex makes a direction, okay? So I went back, and this is gonna, when I make the kick, I want to say I want to go back, but I don't want to do energy yet, because it's totally on, I want you to understand the vortex first, okay? So this is just the part that I'm talking about as far as the Michael Jackson kick. This is getting to know it a little bit better, because it's in different parts. So you can see the vortex, but majorly this part is just to show you how we're going to handle this Michael Jackson kick, okay? But later on, it's going to show you something about stored energy, okay? So I have the balance back here, okay? Another thing too, which I definitely want to stress, you have to be able to see what's going on as far in this layer, as far as your weight is concerned. If you don't see it completely, then you're not at the level, okay? you're not at the level. If you cannot see that it's a big deal that you go from here to there, and that you can go real slow and get every point, every point. Okay, if you can't see that, then you're not at the level yet. Another thing too, I'm going to lift this up. Right now, I'm going to lift this. If you cannot see how you're balancing, the control is balancing, and then this part, how the control works this from here. If you cannot see that vortex and that movement, if you cannot see it, then you're not at the level. If you cannot see what's happening when you make this movement, if you cannot see what happens over here totally, then you're not at the level. That means you may understand it, yes, but you're not at the level. Okay, so that's very important. Now we're going to cut off that. We did all that. You have to go over it and understand it. Now we're going into Michael Jackson kick. We're going to do two things, Michael Jackson. We're going to do the kick, which we're not going to finish because it deals with a lot. I'm almost sure it has a lot to do with energy. But this, I want to mainly talk about the vortex. Okay? And then we're going to do another thing as far as the vortex and how it moves when he does the hand, okay, when he does that, okay, and how he does it, okay, what makes the movement that he makes so special, okay, and I explained to you about the control and how beautiful it is. And if you can find one way to bring up that control all the time, people will buy your records, people will buy whatever you have, okay, because it is a phenomenon, the control. Okay, so now that's it. Now we're going to do his kick, okay, and this is just like the second lesson of his kick. So I have the balance, I'm going to bring the weight back and then do the first one, okay, and we see the vortex here, it just basically stays here. We're not using this one, but how it moves the whole body. Okay. Now, like I said, it's about energy, but we're not there yet. We're doing just the vortex. Now we're going to do the second one. Remember, it was like right here in the middle. So we're going to do that one. Okay. And we can go up, yes, because the vortex is here. Okay. Remember down here, the vortex is here. Okay. Now we're going to go up like where we were. Okay. Now the third one. Okay, right there. Okay. And you can see how the vortex move. It's going to use balance, but you got to keep my balance. How the vortex is moving everything. Okay. And it. Okay. That was fun. Okay. So that's as far as the Michael Jackson kick. So now we have the vortex as far as Michael Jackson kick. But that's, like I said, it's very complicated and it's in different levels. So now we did the vortex as far as the Michael Jackson kick. Now to end this, we're going to do one thing that he does in his Thriller album when he waves, okay? It's not like any other person that can wave, because he did it with, I don't know if he knew it or some kind of way, knowing about the control or feeling the control. Maybe if you do something so many times, your control will lead you, okay, because you have done it so many times. So that means you just feel it. So we're going to bring the hand up. The control is in here, okay? The control is still in here. It's moving the angle, okay? Let me go back and then you can see it, okay? Okay, now the control is up here. I'm gonna put the control here, okay? Then I'm gonna put it in my hand. I think I have to say louder, okay? Now the control is the vortex is in here. And then okay, and you see how it moves, controls the whole body movement. Our quadrant, your quadrant, how your space around you, the space you need to make the movements is your quadrant, okay? So let's do that one more time. But this time, like I said, we're going to keep it in the vortex. We're just going to follow the movements in the vortex, okay? And now we're going to, I got it here, and then I'm working it here. It's here now, okay? And now it's going to switch into here, there. In order to move, you need the vortex. I don't have it in the hand yet, okay? I can put it in here. I could put it in here. And I could put it in here. Okay, that's it. That was a hard lesson. I mean, it was hard to, it was just very difficult because it's so fine. It's such a fine line between seeing things and understanding them internally. A lot is going on, but we got to keep going. Thanks to everybody who's viewed. I appreciate it. Even if you don't understand or anything, you still get, everybody can do it. Everybody can start at the beginning. Sometimes it's better when you don't understand because then you will start at the beginning and it shows you how you can get through each lesson. Sometimes when you understand, you don't want to go to the beginning, but you have to. So you start out and you do the interesting part or the fun part, and you're missing a lot. And in this one, you'll have people who you will have people who has started in the beginning, and they will be totally blow you away. And you didn't start all the way at the beginning, so you'll have a lot of holes. And I'm telling you what's going to happen. This one is 3. If I complete the whole 3, it'll be up to 25 years. I've already did the time. Mine is a little bit different because I went in a different position to where I can see things. I can see so many things. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about myself. I'm just telling you how I can do it without, I'm trying to explain to you and you'll understand better how I can understand without doing, not that because I have done it, I have done all these things, but I didn't put them together. I didn't organize them for specifically dance. That's why I can do it. What I'm saying is that if you start at the wrong point and just at the fun part, yeah, you might do very well. You might even make a lot of money. But the thing about it is you'll get these people who start at the beginning and you'll need their help because you don't know. I mean, you don't know how, I'm almost sure how, I don't know exactly how things are going to work out, but you'll need their help and they will charge you. I mean, because you didn't do it from the beginning. If you didn't do it from the beginning and you have all this free information, that's one thing you have to pay, is that you have to pay in managing yourself. I mean, you're disciplining yourself. Oh no, I can't do that because I haven't done this. But there's people who will do it the right way, and they'll go to places that you can't go, and then you'll ask them for help. Because starting at the middle and then going all the way up, and then you'll need help because it's a different direction to break things down to go all the way at the bottom. Everything is specific. Anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed everything. Please take care. I pray for everything that's going on, everything gets better. Thank you very much. I'll see you later.